Let's take a look at the inputs. Pressing the select button for any channel allows its input to be configured in this section. We will start with gain. When you turn this encoder, the current setting is displayed as a number on the screen. The phantom power button is here. Its status, on or off, is shown on the screen. The pad button is here. You can see its on-off status on screen. This is the phase button. The current status is also displayed on the screen. You can turn channel delay on or off with this button. Use the encoder to set the delay time. The setting is also displayed numerically on screen. Use this button to turn the high-pass filter on and off. When off, the corresponding part of the frequency curve is dimmed. When on, it is brightly shaded. You can set the cutoff frequency using this encoder. The input EQ area is here, and it can be turned on and off. As with the high pass, the corresponding part of the frequency curve is dimmed when off and brightly shaded when on. Using these encoders, you can set the bandwidth and the frequency. This button is used to toggle between two different curve shapes. Using a different color for each of the four bands, the screen displays numerical values for frequency, Q, and gain. The high band also has a button for selecting the shape of the frequency curve. Let's take a look at the compressor. When turned on with this button, the compressor settings light up on screen. From the top, these four knobs control threshold, ratio, attack, and decay. The corresponding numerical values are displayed on screen. Similarly, the gate settings light up on screen when it is turned on, and these three knobs control threshold, attack, and decay respectively. We will continue with our look at the input section. When this pan button is on, the LCD buttons turn the corresponding channels on and off. When orange, the channel is off. When white, it is on. Turn these encoders to change the pan settings. The current value is displayed on the screen and on the corresponding LCD button. The console also has a pre-fader listen or PFL function. When you press a PFL button, it will turn red and you will hear only the corresponding channel. Press again to automatically return to stereo Q mode. If you want to audition multiple channels, press and hold one PFL button and then press the others. Press any of these buttons one more time to return to stereo Q mode. Multiple output channels can also be simultaneously auditioned in the same way. Let's take a look at how to send from inputs to the mix outputs. First of all, turn this pan button off to select send mode. The LCD buttons will switch to blue or green display accordingly. Press the LCD buttons to toggle between green for send on and blue for send off. Use these buttons to select pre or post. The send level can be set using these encoders. You can also select another mix channel to send to, and with the same controllers set pre or post, send on or off, and the send level. Here, our channel is being sent to mix 1 and mix 2. Continuing our look at sending to the mix outputs, let's turn to the flip function. When you turn on this flip button, send levels can be set using the faders instead of the encoders. Let's look at some more send options. All channels with the To Stereo button turned on are sent to this stereo channel. When sending from the 2 stereo channels to outputs, these buttons, 1 through 8, are used to send directly to the corresponding matrix outputs. Here, button 5 is turned on, meaning that all input channels with 2 stereo turned on are sent directly to matrix channel 5. Let's look at how we can send from mix outputs to matrix outputs. When you press a Mix Output Channels Select button, the corresponding channel is highlighted on screen, as you can see here. This makes it easy to see which mix channels are being sent to which matrix outputs. Here, with the Mix Out button turned on, the LCD buttons are either orange for on or white for off. To send to a matrix output, press the corresponding button 1 through 8 on the left, turning the LCD buttons back to blue and green mode. Green turns send on, and blue turns it off. You can set the send levels using the encoders. Here, mix 1 is being sent to matrix 1. The screen shows the matrix destination and level for each channel. Let's now take a look at channel link. To link channel levels, first of all press and hold the SEL button for the channel to be matched, and then press the button for the channel to link to it. To cancel linking, simply repeat this process. It is also possible to link channels that are not beside one another in the same way. Specifically, press and hold the SEL button for the channel to be matched, followed by the Other Channels button. As before, repeat this process to cancel linking. Similarly, output channels can also be linked. In this condition, input pan and stereo information can be maintained at the output. As before, repeat the process to cancel linking, returning the channels to mono. We will now turn our attention to output EQ and delay. Pressing any of the output select buttons switches the screen to output mode. EQ and delay can be configured in this condition. Press this button to turn on EQ. For output channels, each of the 8 buttons below the screen can be used to select the corresponding frequency band. Select the band you wish to adjust, and then use these encoders to set gain, bandwidth, and frequency. As with the input channels, the relevant part of the frequency curve is dimmed when off and brightly shaded when on. The currently selected frequency band also lights up. And as you change settings, they are displayed numerically on screen. Now on to delay. When turned on here, the current setting is displayed in white text on the screen. The upper coarse encoder can be used to make large changes to the delay time, while fine-tuning is possible using the lower fine encoder. I will now describe how to configure the oscillators. The oscillator button is located here. Turn it on to display the oscillator page on screen. Turn the entry encoder below the screen to move between different settings. Use these buttons to select either sine wave or pink noise. With sine selected, you can set the frequency by turning the encoder to select sine frequency, pressing this button to edit, and again turning the encoder. Move down to the next setting, level, and you can press the edit button to adjust the output level. Confirm by pressing the set button. We can also output pink noise on the various channels. When you select stereo out using the encoder, these two buttons can be used to output noise on each of the stereo out channels. This can be confirmed on screen. In the same way, you can select mix out and use these 8 buttons to output noise on the corresponding channels. The same applies to matrix out. I will now show you how to change the names displayed on screen. First of all, press the utility button and then turn the encoder below the screen to display the channel name page. Then press the select button, choose the channel you wish to edit using the encoder, and press the edit button to open the name edit window. The insert button adds a space at the cursor position. The delete button can be used to remove the selected character. Turn the encoder to enter letters, numbers, and other characters. Use the arrow buttons to move the cursor and continue. When finished, press OK to confirm. A USB memory connector is provided below the screen, and you can use it to connect a PC keyboard and enter names directly. Select a channel using the edit button and enter names one by one. The displayed list will be updated accordingly. When the necessary changes have been made, press the utility button once again to close the window. Let's take a look at how to copy-paste between channels. We start by pressing the utility button and using the encoder to select this copy-paste page. Each of these 5 buttons corresponds to a section of this page. The first is the head amp block with phantom power, gain, pad, phase, high-pass filter, and delay settings. Next is the EQ block, followed by the compressor and gate block, the send block, and the fader and pan settings. Once you have selected the block or blocks to be copied, press the copy button. As you can see, an asterisk appears beside the names of the copied blocks, and the paste button becomes active. Select the channel into which you wish to paste the settings, and then press the paste button. You can paste the same settings into any number of channels individually. In the case of inputs, the block buttons are always available at the bottom of the screen, and there is no need to open the utility screen for copy-paste. Simply select the blocks to be copied, press copy, select a different channel, and press paste to paste in those block settings. With outputs, start by selecting the channel to copy from, and then press the Utility button. 4 blocks will be displayed on the copy and paste page. Specifically, they are the EQ, delay, send, and fader blocks. As with input channels, you can now press the copy button. The paste button will become active. Select the destination channel and then press this button to paste the copied settings.